Speaking of, I'm going to try something. Maybe I rock my more comfortable headphones when I'm streaming. Maybe that's the move. Give me one sec. I've got these old ass Sennheisers. They're from, oh my gosh. I think my dad got them for me for Christmas like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They're old. They're super old, but I haven't used them in a while. But they used to be like the most comfortable thing, and I've got them squirreled away in my closet. They don't feel great. Spoiler alert. I feel like my head got bigger. Okay. And they use an like a full, use the full like an amp port. I actually don't know what the name of that is. It is just like all my guitar cables. I don't know. No guitars in this room though. Got them in the office and the lower level in the basement, but none in here. This is not that kind of a recording room. But yeah, so luckily I've got my headphone port set up where I can kind of easily swap, or I thought I did. Oh, this is huge. Giggity. Okay, let's see if, oh, okay, the mic monitoring's way better right now with this headphone. Whew. I think we're onto something, guys. I think maybe that old pair of headphones I had just suck. These are open, so you can kind of hear out on the sides. Whew. Okay, game changer. Game changer. I think I'm investing in probably new headphones at some point. But for now, these get the job done, and I'm cool with that. So, on to the show. So we watched, actually, let's go on the visuals. So let's see Reed again. So I want to get the actual description of his kit at some point soon, because that's what I'm interested in. So it looks like his right click. So is that ultimate? No, that was just his L shift that has how long of a cooldown? Not that 13 seconds? Yeah, a 13-second cooldown on some sort of reflect. So his right click, did he pull himself in with that right click? Or is that E? So that's his E. The right click is what I think grabs. So when he punches and it holds on to them, you can double grab them and slam them, it looks like. Or like this, double. Or you can slam them together. Also, I have no idea what the logistics are here. He just keeps going. Is it like a set amount of hits? Because my boy just freaking belly whops him. Arousing success indeed. Man. The fact that they even included Herbie, I love it. I freaking love it. Okay, so now give that an auto like. I know what I'm about. Whoop. Crank that up. Let's watch it. What do you got, Sue? Pure strategist, I thought, right? So probably low health, 250. Yep. And a 7-second cooldown on a double jump, right? Does she go invisible almost? Do you notice? I wonder if like she's invulnerable at that moment because it goes invisible. I wonder if that's like her way of showing. But also we've got this little guy down here. Don't know what that means. So she can straight up. Oh! So what is... So you can just be cloaked. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know how super useful. I mean, I feel like that could be hella useful, actually. So, spoiler alert, I am all for that as a support. I'm usually a support main like 90% of the time just because that's how the cookie crumbles on ranked. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope, pretty dope, pretty dope, pretty dope, if I do say so myself. All right, well, that was amazing. Maybe after, so I was going to finish drawing Jeff in a little bit. I've got my iPad charged up right next to me. Once Jeff's done, I think maybe I'll do a Reed or Invisible Woman. And then go back to doing more Jeffs, just because I got to get something out for these guys. They look too darn cool. Let's get ahead of myself before I start my morning art station cruise. Let's look at some dope Fantastic Four poses or comics. Like, just look at some cool images of him, get some inspiration. Maybe not even Fantastic Four. Who's somebody who does some cool wiggly arm stuff? I mean, stuff like that's always cool. Get like a cool doll sim, right? From Street Fighter. Let's see some cool, weird yoga. Anybody stretchy? I'm trying to think. Who else is stretchy? We've got doll sim. We've got Reed. We've got Elastaman. Or, right? Well, not Elast. What the heck is his name? Mr. Elastic DC. Why am I blanking on his name? Plastic, not Elastic. Plastic Man, who's basically Reed Richards in DC form, but also obnoxious, and I hated his character. Wow. Not safe for work, guys. Don't look at that. Why does he look like Gaston here? 100% looks like a messed up, ugly Gaston. Am I right? Let's see. Why is he rocking Gaston's outfit? 100%. I don't know. Anyway, we're not drawing Gaston today. We're definitely not drawing Plastic Man. Who else is stretchy, though? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, mainstream. Jake the dog, right? Jake does some fun poses. He's wiggly. He's real wiggly. I feel like he either gets big or just wiggles and makes massive arms. Ooh. When they draw him like that, sometimes it creeps me out. So, I wonder if Dalsum has any cool reference things we can pull from. I always like just force perspective. So you can do a crazy force perspective like this with Reed and really get some wiggly arms, maybe. I'm liking this energy. Possibly. I wish we had Reed in game already so I can cruise through his character model, like, you know, spin him around and actually see his design a little better. But it's not like he's got that much going on, right? Oops. Pretty much just skin suit. Nothing crazy. And he's definitely got the Krasinski energy, right? 100%. 100% they're pulling that, right? I haven't read too many modern Fantastic Four comics, but come on. They've got to be doing that, right? Modern Fantastic Four comic. Let's see what he's looking like now. Does he have that beard and that hair and everything? Because I don't. Old school, old fart me. Like, yeah, he's got that look, but I feel like. Ooh, how many tabs do I have open? Where? Okay. The way they did his eyes and his nose, I feel like that has to be a solid reference, right? Because modern Reed does definitely have that hair and everything, but that face is Krasinski. And I'm all for it. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So I think we'll mess around and actually do a fun forced perspective read and do some silly things. I like it. But anyway, before we do that, let us get back and see what's new in ArtStation as usual. I've got a message. What is it? Because I bought, or I don't have a message. Wow, lies. Anyway, what do we got here to peruse? Let's do trending. What's new and trending here today? Ooh, let's take a peek at that guy. Always love a good MTG. Let's see what illustration we've got. I am a sprite animation enthusiast. I definitely used to do that, or just in general, like light animation. Seeing as I have my master's degree in animation, I did quite a bit. Not much sprite work actually, though. Okay, so looking at the latest, always there's a mix of finish and quality, which is fine. Sooner or later, hopefully, if I can get more of you guys around, making a I need to make the Discord channel still. That's still like I made it and I never really updated it yet. So I need to format that nicely. And if we can get a good group together, I'd love to do like draw overs and stuff like that. Like 'cause, like stuff like this. This person likes to like I'm all for fun ideas and stuff like that, but like obviously could use some anatomy learning. But I'd love to do draw overs and stuff like that to help kind of push. Again, I'm not like a photorealistic person or all that kind of stuff, but I definitely know a thing or two. And I also love teaching, so being able to combine those would be pretty fun and helpful, right? So hopefully we can get that and get like a critique channel going, and I can on stream or make a couple of videos here and there critiquing stuff. Would love to do like a themed one, right? If we could do like a community themed Marvel draw, or like specifically like, oh, like here, like Reed comes out and we all draw Reed, and I can do like a quick video of everybody's work and maybe critique it and go through there. I think that would be a lot of fun. And it'll inspire people. Like I love getting people hyped to do creative stuff. Like you don't have to be a professional to do creative stuff for fun, at least. Okay, well, who am I following? I follow a lot of people. What do we got that's new here? Ooh, what is going on there? These redraws of like animated series? Okay. What game is this? A massive art dump for whatever this is. Big booby lady, mech lady, panda bear cowboy woman. Let's go with that. All right. So what do we got here? Just a dope environment. Very clean. I like that it itself from a bird's eye is probably like a very cool. Yeah. That looks like a halberd or some sort of cool like weapon itself. I like that. Whoa. That was way more rendered. It almost looks like, can't tell sometimes when people do 3D pieces or just really hard painting, Usually environments are a mix of stuff. Ooh, I've seen him before. I've seen this, right? Or no, maybe something similar. It's just a character. Who is this? I don't know. I don't know Magic the Gathering enough. But I've seen Bird, Wizard, Owl Man before. And I like it. I like that, like if we look at like the way the tree branch moves, the way the ground is here, the way he works with colors here, like yes, we have this big spiral pattern coming emitting from his mouth, obviously. But then the world around it supports that language too, right? So it's not just him. So he himself is a nice round shape, more or less. But then the world is also. But then he breaks that round shape with this to ground him really well, which I appreciate. Good stuff, Ignatius Booty. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting here when I clicked on this, but for some reason I wasn't expecting him to just be falling on his back. Some interesting. It's a little stiff, but feels odd. I like this hit impact though. A little bit of stretch there. I think it would go a good way if he had Kiriyama had like one extra frame of like breaking. Like he's got a little bit of overstretch here. You can see where it's like, I really want his butt like to arc a little bit more here. Because I feel like that's where the hinge point is, right? So you get pulled back and really exaggerate that would look really fun. I don't know. I'm coming again from an animation background. I'm overly anal with like the original principles, right? The 9 principles, one of which just being simply squash and stretch. Squash and stretch. Like really got to stretch that. Stretch those shapes and really push them. So even his legs here, right? If his legs got a little longer on impact, I think that would look hilarious in like the best of ways. Like I love a good hit impact. Because otherwise things just end up feeling a little stiff. Like obviously it's a walk cycle, it's going to be stiff, but not bad, not bad. I don't know what this is, but I like it. It reminds me kind of Muckman from Ninja Turtles. Right? Like garbage can lids looking stuff. Hard not to think of Muckman when I see somebody with a like a hand or foot in a dastardly decomposer from the dish. Okay, so he's like, oh, I didn't read his name. Petri. That's a Petri dish. That I feel dumb. I should have read that. Anyway, glurp, hack, cough, bull. So yeah, he's just like a germ growing. I'm an idiot. Okay, so what were these? Character design producing powerhouse animation Netflix. Just a fan project tribute. Okay. Okay. What else do you have? What other kind of things? This guy's stuff isn't bad. Ooh, did he do a lot of these designs? So one thing I noticed too with a lot of like this is a professional artist. I'm not like critiquing to be like, this sucks. I'm just saying my own preference. And again, as a concept artist, he's conveying images different, right? He's not trying to create illustrations necessarily. Clearly he uses line width more. But when I look at stuff, like I know he's adhering to styles with some of these things for animation, which is usually pretty standard line widths. But like some of these things just feel very, every line has the same weight, right? And so when I look at this, my eye doesn't know where to go exactly. There's no like pull. There's no push and pull. Like when you're drawing stuff, having a variability in line weight for a still image helps tremendously. Because if in animation, obviously things are moving, you know where you're looking because the movement is guiding that. But when we're working with still images and you only have the same line width, it becomes nebulous, right? Like we don't know where to look. Whereas like if he had some really dark lines to contour the face to imply more shadow without even giving a shadow, I feel like the eye would get pulled here and a little bit more thick lines and breaking down as we go down along. But I still love these designs. Hell, like this dude's done some fun fun stuff with Mo2. It looks like I've been following this guy. I didn't even know that. Mo2 stuff. Brave Star. Ooh, that is a relic of the past. That I feel like 90% of people who would even watch my stream don't even know what Brave Star is. I'm old. All right. Okay. More of the Batman stuff. I do like it. It's simple. It's clean. This is adorable. Absolutely adorable. I love when they give the like the tufts, the horns, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, okay. One of my favorite things in the world, right? So we've got this final illustration. Absolutely gorgeous, super fun. We've got all these dragons. We've got this girl who clearly is either she herself some sort of dragon character, whether she is full dragon or she's, guised as a human at the point, and her little helper. This is the best, right? What is the energy? What is the character? What is, give me some character exploration to see how they pose, how they move. And man, I love that. Like, give me an art book with, production art. I don't want to look at that. Like those, I'll flip through books like that and immediately put them down. I have hundreds of art books. Like, so behind me, you see comic books. Well, not really, because they're on the lower shelves. Behind me are comic books and a bunch of trade paperbacks, take my word. And then in front of me here, I have a whole shelf of just movie art books, basically. Like a lot of Disney, a lot of Pixar, a lot of Leica and stuff like that. And then I've got in the office, nothing but art books again in there. So I've got games, movies, art books from like some of my favorite artists and stuff. But this kind of stuff is what I love. If you give me an art book and I can actually see where their mind was when creating a character, that's nothing beats that. That's such a fun thing to see in the head of the artist. And here we are, finally, our last from an illustrator from Riot Games. This is, I don't know what Hollis City Residence is. What is this? Hollis City. Is this oh, Holy City? Or maybe this is a concept of their own? Is that why? Or is this a they're at church? Is this the fan concept? I've never HOLI. Or it's Holic City? That? No clue. Clearly it doesn't really exist, and that's fine. I like the designs. I like the weird pandas. But where's the actual thing that we were looking at? That's what I want to see. There we go. There she is. Little walkie. I like the toes. When you give something boots, but they're like critters or like anything that actually has like notable different anatomy, but they still include it in the treads of the shoe. Simple, but effective. This reminds me of like Cardcaptor Sakura, but also like she's some sort of engineer then, which is very steampunky because it looks like a big flathead screwdriver. Flathead screwdriver. Got one right next to me, actually. I am Holic City Panda Girl. Cool. All right. Well, I think what we need to do now. Oh, Reed. So is there a full body shot of Reed? Because we just keep seeing from his butt. I don't really feel like drawing his butt. That's on a different stream. That's close enough. I don't want to look at you, Plastic Man. You're too ugly. Mr. Fantastic Marvel Rivals. Let's see if they have a promo image. I guess his MVP screen kind of has it. Kind of has the vibe. speaker. That's gonna be dope. I need to do, like I said, I need to do a video series breaking down. Ooh, okay. What is going on? I just want, okay, so it's different forms. Queen. Can't cycle through that. That opened up a single image. Okay. He looks kind of goofy when he does that. Look at that little butt. I like it. But you can see the detail. I like the shoulder pads. He was kind of like very space suity, which makes sense given the Fantastic Four's lore and stuff, which is a cool, I like the little touch that they feel more obviously science-y, but also for some reason they hit me with like Lost in Space or something like that, like different kind of energy like that. Cool. Well, that works. I'll look at you, Jonathan. Talk about squash and stretch, am I right? I feel like we're watching like Mr. Fantastic if he were in Fortnite. These are just his emotes. This is Mr. Fantastic in Fortnite. Lobby screen. Don't mind him. He's just gwiddying. There we go. That's the shot. Full screen that. Get rid of my head even for a second. Or my goodbye. Oop, ooh, goodbye. Boom. That. Wanted to thumbnail it. Oh, there we go. Thumbnail. How do we get the crap to go away? Go away. I don't want to. I want to see full screen. Without playing. Without. I don't know. Never mind. I'm an idiot. I don't know how to use the internet. That's fine. Anyway. Shall we draw? Yeah. Like a half hour into streaming already. I haven't even touched any drawing. Whew. Sorry, I'm trying to sell some crap. I have basements. I have tubs all in the basement of figures and stuff like that, and statues and books. So I've been monitoring my good old Facebook Marketplace. Ugh, hate it. How many times you get in a Facebook Marketplace and you get just ghosted by people, or you list the price and they say, how much is it? Bro, it says how much it is. Like pretty blatantly. I feel like my lighting's a little dark on my rim. Wow. There we go. Okay, crank that up to 30. There we go. Anyway. Keep that up. Let's get my iPad set up. So one thing I'm working with is trying to figure out a new way to draw here at this desk. I've got my office, not this room. This is game room. Over there's office. Office is just as cool looking. Maybe even more cool looking. There's even more figures in the office. It is same stuff. I've got like gallery walls and I've got a bunch of shelves. So I've got like my Ninja Turtles. I've got the coolest Masters of the Universe Mondo 1/6 scale stuff. I've got like a He-Man with on Battle Cat, Panther with Skeletor on him. Excuse me, lots of cool stuff. But problem is I don't have any recording stuff in there. So while I do have my really nice Cintiq, right, the 27 QHD, gorgeous, massive piece of equipment, I didn't even buy it. I kept it for my last job. They didn't ask for it back, and I said, dope, I'll keep it. So I've got my old Cintiq still there, but no recording stuff, right? I have no microphone, I have no lighting. I have no, like the camera in there is even worse than this one. Like this is just the basic Elgato camera, but obviously with good lighting, cameras don't really, in the context of what we're doing here, cameras don't really make or break it too much. But I still would like to get a setup in there. However, funds, I cannot justify that right now. But I can justify being here because everything's already done. And what that means is I've got my iPad, which is fine. I love drawing on my iPad. Don't get me wrong. Procreate is simple and efficient and fun to use. But I do miss using like Clip Studio and certain, like the fact that I can't do clipping masks or anything like that is a little frustrating. But one of my problems when it comes to drawing here is I'm just drawing on my small iPad, right? It's an old 2020, I think, whatever model the iPad Pro was way back then. The problem therein lies is little. And I have a bad collarbone from a car accident many years ago. I've got a neck injury. I've got a bad shoulder injury. I'm broken, like hella broken. That's what you get for like being both unlucky and athletic. It's a weird combo. Unlucky physically. I feel like I've been lucky in my life. Don't get me wrong. That's a whole other conversation. But unlucky physically, which means when I'm drawing on this little iPad, I really miss having more real estate. I don't need more real estate to draw on. I need more real estate for my arm. Most people don't draw with their wrist. We draw with our arms, right? The full arm movement. And so without having my full arm movement, I feel like I can't get clean lines. I can't do this. I can't do that. So what I've got is it's called a sketchboard. That'd be dope if they could just sponsor, be like, oh, hey, we'll send you a free one. Oh, I've got my old sketchboard. This is like V1, the original sketchboard. Big, right? Just like when I would be in figure drawing class and stuff like that, where you've got the board right in front of you. Now this looks fantastic to hold in front of me. You can't see it, but trust me, it's nice. But the problem with that is there's nowhere for it to rest. It just rests on my lap. And then when it rests on my lap, there's nowhere, like, I'm still looking down pretty far. This is not a good look. Doubly annoying is the original one didn't have a big enough space for an HDMI or for like a USB-C to go through. So I've got my USB-C to HDMI that's connected to the computer. I can't use that with Sketchboard because there's nowhere to, like, you can't plug in a cable through it. They have a port, but it's like half the size of a USB port. So I don't know what they were thinking. However, the new model, V2, has a bunch of changes. One of which is you can get a VESA mount for it, and it is quick release. So you can literally, I could get an arm, not quite a mic arm, but like, a normal monitor arm, and put the quick release adapter on it. And then from there, I can just pop that on the arm, swivel it to me, and then put it wherever I want, just like my old Cintiqs. And then it's big. I have more surface area to move my arms and better for my posture. For now, I'm using my little itty bitty iPad on my desk. So we'll see. But for now, this is what I've got. I ordered a new arm just to test it because it's Amazon, right? No harm, no foul. I'll just return it if I don't like it. So I was going to test out if my desk even can utilize an arm. Because I've got a lot of stuff. I've got like my monitor over here, the keyboard and mouse. It's a thin desk. I've got the lighting. Can't really fit like too much up here. But if I get the arm, I test out the arm if I can actually like pretend it has the iPad on it and see if that works. Then I'll get the sketchboard V2, the fancy one, and just seems weird because I don't even have, like, my iPad's breaking and old. But anyway, so we had Read Up and Doll Sim. This isn't necessarily what we're drawing right now. So we can actually close out just so we don't have to see it. Nobody look at that. Boom, gone. But also I could use some music. What? Installing spot. How did it just Maybe it was an update. Anyway, so let's crank back out some music. This is just playing from playlist that I randomly clicked on yesterday. Cool. Let's crank it down a little bit. I don't want to hear it that much. Is it too loud for you guys? I can't tell. It looks fine. It's a quiet song. Psych. It's Red Hot Chili Peppers. It'll crank up. Okay. Anyway, so yesterday we were drawing Jeff, right? We were exploring all that Jeff was and is. Still a little loud, but I just wanted to finish up this little guy. So just quick finish of this little watercolor. Slap it on Instagram. Call it a day with Jeff. Call it a day with Jeff. But instead of finishing him or doing another one, I kind of want to do Reed, like I said. So we'll play with some other stuff in a bit. For now, I just need to add like a little bit of color because he's pretty much done, right? You look at that little cute guy. That's Jeff. That's Jeff enough. That's Jeff in a box. Man, yeah, like I said, this is an awkward setup. If anybody uses an iPad, I'd love to know like what you guys do because I don't know how to do this. So I guess just refreshing, looking at this now, was there anything I wanted to change? I basically need to add a little bit of nice color for his gray area. There's no shadows there. And I also would like to fix his tongue. The colors look weird. Like the lighting doesn't match up. And since we are doing Rivals energy, Marvel Rivals, there's a lot of like hard rim lights. So if I can do like a hard white rim light along it. Yeah. Oh, I told you about my @ signs, right? So we've got these sketch liner, pull to black. So these little guys, my little @ symbols, give him, looks like he needs a little one here, but let's reverse it. Boop. Why am I say reverse it and then my dumb brain does not do that. So it's okay. Little kneecap. Done. Psych too high. Little kneecap. And what if we add like a little squiggle? Just to give a little bit of character to the knees maybe. Because I feel like they feel weird. But that doesn't look great either. Okay. Cute enough. I know I monkeyed with the line work a billion times yesterday. Cleaning things up. Like the shapes and stuff. But when I talked about line width earlier, I feel like this kind of could use some line width adjustments. Especially stuff like this. It's just one solid line. So what if we break this up and allude to this shape rather than like directly draw that dark line? That looks better. And we need to soften this though. That is a hard. Oh! The brush is really big. Sorry. Just soften this up, right? It's watercolor, so I can just kind of bleed it a little. And now it feels a little bit cleaner. Cool. Jeff. A little dark. Cute. Yeah, so let's look at this little part, his gray area. Did I color his teeth in at all? Is this toothed? No, okay. Did anybody see what happened? Because I didn't. What brush am I on? Why does this look stupid? Oh, it's this. Sheesh, Britain. Okay. Let's darken this up a little and see how. Ooh, too dark. Still too dark. Watercolor is tricky when you're working with like white. You can't really That look too dark then? No. Maybe go a hair brighter though, just to... So this brush, it's a watercolor fill brush I've got. I do not know where I got it. All my brushes, I get a million things and then I adjust them myself later to suit the way I like to use them. Man, I cannot find a sweet spot for the microphone. I guess we'll see if this catches. But if we do it that, you guys catching this? Okay, so if we do something like that, you can see it's, if I push lightly, it barely comes up and then you darken. So I definitely gave a little bit of pressure sensitivity to the watercolor brush, which isn't normal, I guess, for watercolor, but I prefer that. And so let's give just a little bit of... So his nose goes up, and then we've got probably a little bit of shadow down here, right? Just a little bit of shadow. Definitely build a little down here under the tongue, for sure. And then ambient occlusion, regardless, we've got something here. That goes a long way. Just that little bit of shadow, I feel like, can definitely help sell it a little more than what was before. That goes a long way. Okay, so what else? Then we also need, if we're working there, give it down here too, right? Too dark, too dark, too dark. Definitely heavy-handed here, and let's fade it a little bit as we go out. And then pull this in. And to ground him, I always like to have a little bit of shadow at the bottom of feet, just because it makes more sense. I feel like it's confusing when it's not, because why would there not be shadow at the bottom? Like if you look at your feet, whenever you're touching, like if you looked at like all of our feet, we have a slight curve, right? It's not just a flat piece. So there's always going to be some sort of shadow at the bottom of our foot when we're grounded. Even if it's little, it goes a long way. I'll smudge this a little bit. Cute. Okay, okay. And like I said, let's readdress the tongue, because the tongue lighting feels weird to me. I feel like I need more light color here. A little too dark for where the light would be. Cool if it kind of rounds out a little bit. I can always just erase some of these extra. I'm okay leaving it messy because it's just a watercolor thing here and we're just chilling. That's still a little light, not light enough. So let's just crank like a white and really softly put this on here. Okay. And then we can darken up the other side to make it feel more tongue-like, where it kind of caves in the middle, especially a tongue of this size, right? This is a big old tongue. All the better to gobble up your team with. Jeff. He's getting a nerf though. Season 1 they announced. I'm excited for that. I don't know if you called it a nerf, more of like just like a correction. They said there's going to kind of touch up where his hitbox is. It's more visible, or more like accurate, what's actually triggering with his ultimate. which I am all for. Does that look better with his tongue a little bit? A little bit. A little bit better. Cool. Do we need a little bit more color? I feel like he's really blue and gray. Well, one, his teeth don't have any color. I don't think I ever ended up painting any color onto the teeth. So let's crack a new... Is there? Maybe there is. We change the background color to gauge. Okay, so I did paint his teeth a little. So I want to play. So I love the idea of using aspects of watercolor, but then also including harder lines because I'm a comic book guy, right? I'm a comic book guy. I'm a cartoon guy. The watercolor is gorgeous. I love the immediate texture you can get from watercolors, but I also like the hard lines of other stuff. So while he's cute, let's play with like some squigglies. When in doubt, squiggle it out is my motto for things. So like, let's give a sketch jitter and then play with maybe, what does this kind of look like? A little harder line in there. To really sell some of these. Oh, I'm over the line art right now, aren't I? What does it look like without line art at the moment? Not great. Not great without line art. Yeah, I don't know about this. What if we do that, but with whites instead? So we give like a rim light, a hard rim light then. So the idea is like, here is the cute rim light just on top of, whew, that white does not look great. Can we change the blending mode? Yeah, why is this white is not? So what if we... Let's do add. Like drop it like a 70% layer. That's cute. I can mess with this. What brush? Oh crap, I've got the watercolor eraser. That is an eraser, crap. Give a little bit here. Let's give a nice shine. Little rim here. Definitely add something here. And his tongue. So like when I'm doing stuff like this, you're just kind of thinking of where edges are, right? The edge of any visual point and just kind of making it pop, right? Because with watercolor, it's gorgeous and smooth. But like I said, I like giving this little bit of edges that just kind of help it stand out more. Kind of tells the eye where to look and helps like round out shapes. And that's too much on the tongue. Way too much on, okay. Give a little bit of shine on the teeth. Not that you can really see it, but it's enough that at first glance it feels softer when we're looking at the teeth, right? Maybe give a little bit of chin. Such a hard chin. Get some highlight. Give a little bit down here. So this is literally just like weird edging. So it's like both rim light and highlight. I don't know what I'm doing with that. That doesn't look bad, right? I kind of like it. He's looking cute. I wonder if we do is too much. I feel like the eye is just enough. I don't want to over. The eyes on characters like this are a fine line. You can easily make them look weird. A little too much. Little toe. Those little toes are adorable. A little too thick. Okay. We can darken maybe the mouth. Here we go. Okay. I was like, there's somewhere. So let's do some detail and just copy this red. And we'll darken it up by slapping on an extra little bit probably. Just to give it a little more depth back here. I feel like it's a little too light. Can we go even darker? Not really. It's kind of maxing out on bright. Let's go dark. We're gonna smudge the crap out of this in a second. Don't worry. I know this looks weird. I really want to give more depth to his mouth. I feel like there's not enough in his mouth. It feels very one dimensional. So like because this part was all kind of the same color, it doesn't feel like it's a deep mouth. When I think, when you think of Jeff, he's got a big old mouth. So like it's definitely deep. So we don't want to make it look shallow. I feel like that's a silly part of the character that he has. Like all he is basically mouth. So we don't push that. It feels kind of not the character. We'll clean this up in a second. These edges got kind of messy, and that's okay. Happy mistakes. What is it? The Bob Ross little happy trees. Happy mouth bleed. That sounds terrible. But yeah, the teeth can't have too much red. Having playful little bits of the watercolor bleed is fine for the style, but I mean, having like red teeth looks suddenly more aggressive for Jeff. He looks like he just murdered somebody. Which, I mean, he kind of does, the little bastard. There we go. See that mouth now just has a little bit, like it sets it in a little better. Right? Or is that just me? It's enough. Oh, Jeff. Yeah. I think I'm almost done with him. I'm fine with like this watercolory rough look. On this one, add like a little. I love like little flourish, right? So just like bubbles or like the like exclamation-y kind of comic booky nonsense, right? Obviously, we're not doing that exactly. But let's give it like a blue. Give it some catch jitter. I don't like it. Yeah, maybe no accent on this guy because it just doesn't look right. Bubble. What if we paint him then? Paint a little bit of water within the bubbles. Bloop, bloop. I think it's those blue lines. What if we just make them black? I don't like it. I'm gonna have to get rid of them. Fun fact, this will probably just get deleted. Sometimes you just try an idea, I'm like, maybe this will be cute. And then you're doing it like this. Spoiler alert, it's not cute. That's okay. You can have an idea, try it out. And it can look like doo-doo. And then you say, well, I learned. I learned that was doo-doo. Point. This is doo-doo. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Get rid of them bubbles. Just do or say anything. Just nom nom. That's all he does. That's all he says. Nom, nom. Bitter. Right in the middle. Does that cheapen it? Again, I've been trying to find like a happy medium of like comic booky, silly lines just to add to stuff, but I don't want it to look like he's like having a seizure. Kind of does. What if we give him a cute colored light instead? So I said we were playing with these jitter lines. What have we got? He's got blue, gray, yellow. What color wheel it? So if we've got like a blue, tragic, a blue and a yellow, we already have like a reddish. Yeah, I was thinking like a green. But what kind of yellows do we have? We've got like that yellow and this blue, right? Ooh, bring that a little further out. A lighter. So then like a playful green like this. Is that gonna look dumb for a rim? That might, yeah. Yeah, I don't like that color. Little squiggly butt. See, like I said, like giving this directly on him feels a little weird. This is not the right kind of like rim light like this doesn't work. kind of ugly, and that's okay. I don't know what I want to do to finish this off. Eh, Jeff. What if we just do like some watercolor splat green at the background? Again, we're learning together. I don't do watercolor much, but I really want to get into it because I love the texture. Did I not add the layer? I did not. That would help. Forgot watercolor underneath. Now I was going to change his color. Crap. Wow. Outline. Dumb. Got like a weird shield. Kind of cute. I don't know. I'm trying to play with like any other little bit of color. It just feels so one-sided with this gray. Paint around him. And we can crop into a square. Cool. We crop and resize. 4x3, 4x4. Using my best. I want to, let's go Instagram square, right? Square. What are we at? 25, 22. Eesh. I don't know why I didn't. Nope. 8 by 8. Lock it. Square. Duh. I don't know why. Sometimes when I'm doing stuff, my brain just farts when we're here on stream then. Don't like it. Watercolor eraser. Make it bigger. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe to make it a little more shape to him. Okay. Well, that's something. Little white, maybe. Let's get the sketch jitter. Oh, tetradic. Go back to the classic, please. Bluish white. Nope, that is not white enough. Where's the green? Oh, it's this layer. Pretty stupid bubbles. Put down. Drop the green down too. No. Watercolor eraser. Yeah. All right, now let's try and crop it. 1 by 11. Lock it. Instagram squares are dumb. Good enough. What if we hit it with a little bit of yellow, actually? Am I over designing this? Probably. Like I said, worst case scenario, you just erase it. Now it looks like 7 Up is green and yellow, or Sprite. Is that what it was? I don't really drink pop much, but I feel like this looks like 7 Up to me. Or some sort of lemon lime drink. All of this looks ugly. I almost want to get rid of everything and say, no, thank you. Yeah, the yellow looks stupid. Okay. That's it. Ship it. Done. Yeah. Cool. Let's export this out. Share it. Spoiler, I always just export to my Discord, my own personal Discord, where I just text myself. It's literally called texting myself. And I send it to myself because then it's quicker and easier from the iPad than going to Google Drive and all that stuff. So let's see what it looks like. Actually, not on the iPad though, because that can be a big difference. Sometimes it looks a lot uglier, the colors, off iPad. Excuse me. Okay, we've got this GIF. My name GIF. Let's see. Good enough. Anyway, let's say we're done with that, Jeff. What time is it? 11:40. So we've got like 45 minutes to sketch out some Mr. Incredible or Mr. Incredible. Mrs. Incredible. Some Mr. Fantastic. Okay, so let's pop a new file. Spoiler alert, look at all these things. I like doing just 8.5 by 11. They're print size then too, if I ever want to flap them through a print. Sketching, black. Easy, always. Black, sketch. Whew, like I said, man, I need a new setup here. My collarbone is crunched, but it's okay. I feel like I haven't been as talkative this time. I'm getting in the swing of things, but we'll see how I get better with this. But so Dalsim, right? I really liked like this energy, right? This is fun energy, but not blowing. He'll just be grimacing, right? Like he's getting ready. So what if we play up that idea? Let me move my iPad again to sketch mode. So here, if we're just playing with something like this, if we're looking at Dalsim for Reed, his proportions can be whatever the hell we want, which is pretty fun. But I like the idea of like this like strong force perspective, right? I'm getting a little too big right now already. Like decent sized chest. And then like a huge foot in the way here, right? It's plowing down. Stretching that up, really play with it. So I want him to be kind of down and looking up rather than Dalsim blowing the fire that way. So if he's looking up, a foot, just a foot, boom, stretchy, wow. I feel like Mr. Fantastic is always like curves to his stretch, right? So really kind of play with that. Obviously we still need calf shape, but really stretch that leg, get his butt, whoop, and curve that into his back. Have like a same idea here that Dalsim's just kind of got a foot bend. Just kind of foreshorten it. Is it stretched? Probably, but we don't need to know too much about that leg because that is just a background character for his body. So we got stretchy leg, one leg forward. So the leg forward, this is the arm that would be more back. Because that's just how contrapposto it's referred to as, is the balance of two things. So if he's got this one more back, the other one would be a little bit more forward here. Wiggle. Make this one. We gotta play with something like that, right? You guys can kind of see the idea where that's coming. Really stretchy, really. Oh, that watercolor eraser is pointless. I like my fill brush to be my eraser because it's technically like almost completely like fully opaque. So it does erase a lot, but it sometimes leaves little edges, which is fine. I like that with my sketch phase because I like kind of having a little bit more. Oh. How do I moderate things? Not that way. Okay, back to drawing. We always get some weird Twitch stuff. Unfortunately, being a new streamer, I feel like I get way too much spam. Maybe you'd see more of his thumb with this fist because it'd be more twisted. Uh, it's weird because I'm a big anatomy guy, and Mr. Incredible just says F anatomy, right? Like he can do whatever he wants. So like his anatomy is still based in normal like reality, but also not at all. So it's definitely a weird one for me as someone who likes to follow anatomy rules. But like I feel like you gotta just let go of that when you're drawing stretchy people. I don't like that. That fist looks weird. Maybe he doesn't have two fists. Maybe he's got like an open hand here, maybe. Super ugly hand, but that's just like to get the idea of what it's open. He got stretchy fingers too, right? So who cares if his fingers look stupid? Everything is stretchy. Nothing is wrong. If the anatomy can't be wrong, that means I'm always right. I like it. I like it. New resolution for this year. Only draw stretchy characters. Because then you're never wrong. So I'm not sure how I want to resolve the idea of his leg. look like again? What is he? The big old curve. I don't want to break that shape up, actually. He doesn't really have shoulders much, but I'm going to give him a shoulder still. Like the idea that like his shoulder is still something. We'll deal with his face later. I don't want to do that right now. Should he be looking? No, that looks like he's Sasquatch then. If he's like, oh, looking at the camera, that's total Sasquatch energy. Let's just say this will be where his face will go, and we'll figure that out. You're looking down, straight. I feel like Dawson's looking down in the ref. I like the idea of him looking up, like he's trying to like get ready to like pounce on something. Wrong overlap there. One thing I feel like a lot of people mess up is like, so right here, if you notice, it looked like this arm, the forearm was overlapping the bicep area. But if we think about the perspective of that, the forearm is actually receding in space. So it kind of breaks our brain that way. So what we do is we readjust. So now the forearm is receding in space because it's behind this line, right? So since it's behind it, suddenly our brain reads that and goes, yes, of course. Easy fix for that. But like here, like an elbow. Do we give him an elbow or do we just give him a curve? Give him like a little elbow. But just like a little elbow bump. Not enough to fully draw attention, but enough to imply that like his arm is still an arm, not just a pool noodle. Can we make it like allude to a bicep despite the wiggle, maybe? Like, so if we give an arch first up, that kind of looks tricep-y, right? They just made Reed look so beefy, this one. I want to like still catch that. The same idea, right? We want this to kind of feel like it's curving both away and toward us at the same time. I don't know, actually, I kind of think this one would be toward us, right? Because it's up higher, it's pulling back, but I want this one to feel like he's like really rotating this arm. So it's like in front of this, like three-dimensionally. So this would be the opposite. So this one's coming towards us, where the other one is going away. Don't mind my squiggly lines. Like I said, without having my iPad set up on a nice large surface, I'm using way too much wrist. Like it's all wrist. It's all wrist. Wrist sucks. Art is made with your arms and your butt, but mainly your arms. All right. This read doesn't look heroic though. Like this pose doesn't read as like hero pose to me. Not yet. Maybe will with some adjustments. This thumb looks stupid. That's fine. Again, I'll adjust that later. No, I feel like we need to liquefy this as one does. The center line would be kind of like this, right? Yeah, go up, abs this way. You don't need abs and the muscle structure, but it helps me personally kind of understand what I'm looking at, because sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. And if I lay some landmarks, even if they're like not right necessarily, but they kind of like tell me the direction of his body and stuff, that helps tenfold for me. But yeah, this leg is not doing it for me. I'll just wipe a clean slate off this leg. We know the energy we want for it. And we'll try that again in a second. His fist to be so big, it's actually breaking the bounds of his silhouette here. So it curves and breaks through a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to overlap and sometimes you do. It's the fine line of finding where an overlap occurs to make it feel impactful, or an overlap occurs and it just becomes messy. But I kind of like closing that shape off. It's like a full, big old oval that's open here. If we can kind of replicate something like that, pull this arm in a little bit more then. This arm, I don't know what I want to do with this arm, but I don't like it. Ooh, there we go. Like one's more wallopy and the other's more open. Distort. Ah, crap. I still want it selected was the problem. I just want to pull that back a hair. Fun fact, as I'm listening to this music right now, I don't use Spotify. Not really. I've never really used Spotify. I'm using Spotify now for the context of the stream. Yep, sorry. So, oh gosh. The Spotify playlist stuff, right? I use YouTube Music. I'm a YouTube guy, mainly because I was a Google Drive, or I'm sorry, Google Music and all that. Got transferred to YouTube. Not as good. Google Music for life. Best, hands down. Always the best. However, I got used to YouTube Music then, but YouTube Music doesn't have a PC application. So if I were to stream, I can't actually have it up, which is stupid, right? I can't have my PC playing music because it's copyright. But if I'm streaming and doing stuff like that, it's not a big deal. So long as I have it on a separate audio track. So without having it on a separate audio track, though, I can't really play with that. So the only thing that has that, though, unfortunately, spoiler alert, is Spotify. Having Spotify with it means I need to start a new account. Man, I'm rambling. So starting a new account with Spotify, my girlfriend had Spotify and I was like, oh, dope. She had the family plan. I started using it and setting it up. Still don't like it as much. But for whatever reason, I felt like listening to Switchfoot, right? An old Switchfoot song. I had put the song on as one of the first songs I had played because that was just what was in my mindscape at the time that I wanted to hear. So I'm playing Switchfoot, didn't think anything of it, literally go back on to Spotify for like the second day now using it. And it recommends Christian music all over the place. No knock against Christian rock and all that kind of stuff, because obviously I just said I was listening to Switchfoot, but that is not like my overall jam. It just so happened that Switchfoot is a Christian rock band, but I used to listen to them just because of the songs, not because of the type of band they were. I'm not a huge fan personally of that genre, but it was just hilarious that I came to Spotify now, and Spotify's like, hey man, I heard you like our Lord and Savior, rock music. And I was like, ah, crap. So I've been trying to listen more and get the algorithm to actually understand what I want rather than the little bit that I've already listened to. So we need to break this shape. This arm is almost the same size, right, as this arm. So what we can do is we can liquefy it maybe and play with the shape of it a little more and really play with the stretchiness. But we can't make it as big as the other hand because it's competing then. I don't like that hand. It just becomes too competing. And you can't have that in a space and it read well. So if we looked before, it was way too big because it was almost the same size. And if you have two big things, nothing's big then. You just have two of the same size things. So if we stretch this one to be big and this one, then we'll play with the fist later. We'll figure out what I want to do there. To be small, now it feels impactful, right? Because this feels like a bigger fist. Still kind of weird, this curve now, though. Now that we redid this space, it feels like he needs to kind of just full arc it back like that. And what if we stretch? I think that's kind of what's weird, too, is I feel like his head actually should be down a little more. I'm not liking that. I don't know what angle I want his head to be. Maybe once I figure out the feet. But yeah, I feel like this helps. The head shape should be definitely further here than it was. So this helps read for sure a little better. Maybe looking down. So let's play with that force perspective again. So if his leg goes like this, what if it's boom? And I kind of want it to be like hitting down so hard that we've got like chunks of rock and other debris, right? Like his foot is slamming down so hard, it's breaking the ground. I always when I think of groundbreaking, I just think of like imagine like the Dragon Ball Z fights, right? Like just ground busted everywhere. But I feel like to sell that, I feel like he needs to be even smaller in space so that this leg can really have space to breathe and be just full on slam. Just look weird if it breaks. Yeah, I do not want to. That's one like. So breaking bounds, right, and breaking like the lines of sight and stuff are fine. Like so here, break the silhouette. That's cool, right? This is breaking the silhouette because it's not like a focal point. And this is, if anything, this is the focal point. We want to see the fist and the foot slam and then probably his expression. So we'll see all of these things. So it'll go like bam, bam, bam. So we'll see the foot bashing his expression and then the big old fist. But if we cover his face with the leg, that's one of the three things we just said we want to focus on. So if we all of a sudden are like masking that with his own body, that doesn't work. So how can we adjust for that? What if we I think this is the problem too. I need to bring his waist down a little bit more to really play with the stretchiness. And then we can get a better angle of his back foot too. But we can flatten it a little bit more this way then because it's not flat anymore. Good enough. Really sell this stretchy arch then into the leg. So I think that might help. So instead of being a hard cut, it can be more of, he gets really little, right? So he'll get little here, but then embiggening his leg as it gets toward us, the viewer. So let's say his kneecap is actually like kneecap here. A little more to the side, right? Mm. What I'm struggling with, like I said, is that I want to give him anatomy. But he doesn't have anatomy. He's a pool noodle. This is hard for me. I don't think you understand the breadth of difficulty this is for me to simplify anatomy to a point where it doesn't even exist. It's sacrilege. Heresy, my friend. But I shall keep on trying. So I think that's what I need to do. Suspend disbelief of the curvature of this weird leg. And it just wiggles, right? Full stomp. Direction of the shoe. Still not vibing. Not quite sure why. It just doesn't feel like it's a big enough of an oomph. Maybe his head looks too big too. Stretchy, so why don't we stretch his neck a little? Getting rid of that other fist though, if we put his head there. I don't like that. Maybe we like, yeah, do like an outstretched hand. Because he does, like, I mean, the picture we've had up here, this guy, oh god, an image, new tab. Like this, we do something like that then maybe. I think that could work. I feel like this leg needs to, I mean, we don't want it to be too visible, but it's also like almost lost in shadow. It's fine. We don't really need to. But so with this arm, this is just kind of like, hey, we back. But I do like this like weird finger thing. So this is finger joint. Okay. Is that gonna look too creepy though? It's gonna look salad fingers. I'm totally just copying this energy. That's fine. I kind of like it. Don't like it. I lied. I effing lied. You, the Academy, everyone. But it's okay. We'll reassess. But it is 12:20. So I better wrap up at least the idea, hopefully sooner than later. AKA sooner as in like 10 minutes. I am going to hop on at 3 o'clock Central, Chicago, 3 o'clock, and actually play some Rivals. Gonna try and mix up art mornings, like I've posted, art in the mornings and games in the afternoon. So hopefully that goes well. Games in the afternoon, just Tuesdays and Thursdays though. That'd be dope if I could play every day, but that does not work that way. Especially if I'm playing Rivals. No one's going to be watching me play Rivals. I'm going to be watching me, and that's about it. Ain't nobody care. Wiggly back leg. Yeah, these creepy salad fingers are not the energy that I'm thinking right now. Also, I don't know why when we were talking about who stretches, I didn't think of Luffy. Of all characters, like, hey, Monkey D. Luffy, his whole thing, he's like the main boy. The main stretchy boy. But yeah. I'm vibing enough with this pose now, with Reed though. So hopefully we can play with this tomorrow. I may actually, depending on what today brings in the afternoon or when I'm like chilling watching TV with my beautiful lady, maybe I'll draw a little more of him just to kind of flesh out this shape. But really the most fun part, there's two, I mean, they're all fun parts. Who am I kidding? Art's a blast. And I love it all. But one of the fun parts is actually adding the details, right? So like figuring out this stuff is cool, right? This is fun. It's playful. You've got like the whole canvas to work with, a free idea. There's nothing blocking you right now, right? Nothing, literally nothing stops you other than your imagination. So in this phase, you can do whatever, but this phase also has a lot of like more thinking involved than I feel like most non-artists realize, because you're trying to place things in reality and trying to understand what's going to look good and read well. Read Richards well. Sorry, I had to. And so there's a lot more like thought process going on than what one would assume. And so in that thought process, it's nice then once you get the base down, and then you can just start detailing, right? So these are just the shapes. So like once I can actually make the face and get the lines of the outfit in and stuff that like sells the image way more and pretty quickly then, right? So that's, to me, is a fun point. But also one thing to note, what I was just doing is kind of playing with So Reed stretches, but like if we look at Reed in any of these instances, he stretches, but like when you stretch anything, nothing's the same width, right? So his hand gets really thin here, but like big to little, big to little, little to big, big to little, like the shapes kind of play and kind of warp in and out. So keeping that design philosophy here, if his foot is getting big, maybe his ankle gets pretty little, right? And that'll help. Again, if everything's big, nothing is big. But if everything balances itself, so if we've got this little ankle slamming into a huge foot, his foot looks like a loaf of bread right now. I don't know why, but I just keep seeing that as a loaf of bread. Needs to be thinner too. It's a little too fat, that loaf of bread foot. My iPad's getting old, like I've said, and so like there's times where I'll switch to the eraser. I switch, but then you see it just keeps making lines. But I should be erasing them. Oh man. I'm sleepy. Today has been cold as hell, just like yesterday, here in the beautiful, cold ass Chicago. So I go for walks every day, so I'm not super looking forward to this cold weather either, but bundle up and usually everything's fine. Yeah, I'll play with that foot shape. It just looks weird right now. But yeah, I like the idea of I always make noises when I'm doing like destruction and I don't know why. It just helps me. It soothes me. But yeah, busting up all this rubble. Maybe even like a bigger like huge destruction. Not just like a little bit of rock, but like fully breaking down. Yeah, that's cool. And that means I don't have to actually solve the problem of the foot too much because it's actually just being covered. And that is an unbelievably lazy approach, but also unbelievably effective a lot of times. So, gotta do what you got. A baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do. Am I right? Still kind of want this foot to feel like it's like breaking in a little bit though. Like the radiating in a circle around it, maybe. Google hands. Squiggles. Okay. Now the main thing I need to do is figure out the salad fingers. But I do like that he's not a full 3/4, but maybe like this. Maybe slightly angle the head. I feel like the ears help me visually see the angle of the head. So you'll see a lot of times I just like to throw an ear in. It looks weird, but it helps like, oh, what when you see an ear, you know what direction of the head's in, right? So that's kind of what I do, but I don't like the direction of the head. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, let's get these salad fingers back. So what if it's like this and the idea is his hand? No. Hand would be like finger stretching out here. And then see the thumb, because it would terminate here. But the knuckle, let's say the main knuckle would be there. Like I said, let's just jack this hand as much as we can. I say that, and then it still just keeps looking creepy, though. Maybe it needs to be more open. I feel like it's way too closed, actually, for the kind of shape we're looking at. Really, the hand would look something like this. As the actual palm here. We'd actually have knuckle there, knuckle here. Make them smaller though. And then even smaller, and then we won't even see. It'll be like a pop up kind of thing. Knuckle, 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 knuckle. And this one will be like a full. Not sold. Not sold on these fingers either. Fingers always get weirdly pointy, I've noticed, in most of the source material. At least in the comics. Can't really see his fingers too much in the game when he's stretching. I mean, you can freeze frame it. But like I'm saying, like mid gameplay doesn't seem to be the case. He looks horrifying. Like that hand makes him look villainy, doesn't it? Like a shape like that just doesn't scream hero to me. What if we do the opposite? So the hand over here, right? In the reference is a good point to check out. So the other hand, instead of being like open sprawled, what if it's the opposite? And this hand is like stretching way down to support the back leg. Be more here. So it's going way back. And he's kind of called out like that more, maybe. I don't know. I can't solve this hand issue. Hmm. I feel is distracting then. So weird. Man, I really wanted to have this figured out before I went to go eat lunch, but looks like that's not going to happen. Maybe I'll... So one of the things with whenever you're stumped, I feel like one of the most important things is to know when to stop and just kind of like reassess mentally, like what we're looking at. And I think that's what I need to do here today. Is go eat lunch. I need to cook tonight. So I was gonna like prep some chicken, do all that kind of stuff. Get my vibes down before this fist. Before I even try anything else. Because clearly my brain does not want me to do this right now. No matter what I do. And that's okay. You're gonna get frustrated as hell when this kind of stuff happens. But I feel like that's just what's gonna happen. And it's okay. I feel like that's one thing I feel like we don't talk about enough is you're gonna fail a lot. And boy, is this failing a lot right here with this stupid hand. But we will come back stronger. We'll come back better. I promise. So hopefully tomorrow then, yeah, tomorrow we'll hit back Mr. Incredible. I think maybe when I eat dinner tonight, I'm going to sit here and really think of what to do with the hand. Magically tomorrow morning, you guys will come back, we'll see, and we'll be like, oh, wow, dope. He figured out the hand. It's fingers crossed. If not, you guys can watch me struggle tomorrow too, which is probably realistically what's gonna happen. But I think that's good for today. So if you remember, we finished up good old Jeff. Let me pop him back on screen so we remember. So we finished up Jeff, got that little watercolor, quick Jeff done. I'll post him today just to get back in the social media of things. Post him, got Jeff done, got a little bit post for Mr. Incredible to celebrate the new trailer stuff. I think what I'll do actually now, as soon as I looked away and looked back, I think what I'm going to do is maybe reassess his back arm anyway. I think that's the problem. It's too, like, this shape here. Oop, I just erased it, but same idea. This shape, right? This whole curve to me maybe isn't. When you're having a problem and you're trying to like, so if you're trying to fix point B, right? The arm is point A. And I've been struggling with point B, which is the fist or hand, however you want, like whatever the hand shape is going to be. I've been struggling with point B. But if you're struggling with B, maybe the problem isn't B. You can only do so much before you realize, hey, I need to go back, one extra pace and see that, hey, it's actually not point B. I was damned from the beginning. Maybe it's point A, which is the actual base of the arm. So now in retrospect, I think I'm going to reassess the arm. But not right now because I'm hungry. So I will hop on later today and I will play some rivals. Hopefully you guys can watch me rank up because I am struggling right now. I need to get at least a platinum is my goal before the new season. Hopefully I can, but you guys can watch me struggle to rank up in a few hours, and then I'll be back at it tomorrow morning, plugging away at Mr. Fantastic, and hopefully we can get some cool details in and get him kind of flushed out and finish up a piece tomorrow with him then, just like we finished up Jeff today. So until then, be kind and kick butt.